John Jones shuts down Tom Aspinall. Della Maddalena versus Gilbert Burns. And also, Bryce Mitchell steps up and takes on Josh Emmett in a week's time from now at UFC 296. I'm going to break all these down, starting with the boring one, in my opinion. I know you guys want me to hear, react to the fight announcements. I'll get to that in a second, but I just need to go through this real quick. John Jones shuts down Tom Aspinall. And yeah, Tom Aspinall, of course, after his Sergey Pavlovich win, he said John Jones should be stripped. And I kind of agree with him. Listen, I'm not even being biased here. I would favor towards Jones in one of these situations. I would, if I had to. If it was reasonable, I would favor John Jones. If it was reasonable, I'd favor Tom Aspinall. I slightly lean Aspinall's way here. Because I think John Jones... Listen, if this was before the Yuri Prochazka got the belt, I wouldn't have minded it. But seeing that Yuri Prochazka vacated his belt after a great win over Glover, best way to get the belt, vacated his title, alright? And then Jamal Hill had his belt, got a win over Glover as well. God, it must be a curse over Glover. Thank God Pereira didn't get the belt off Glover, because he probably would have gone injured. So don't get the belt off Glover. Do not. But yeah. But listen. Those guys vacated the title so their division can move on. We have an interim, and there was no clear-cut number one contender at the time either. Well, there was Ankalaev, who was weird. Not weird, but he was deserving of one, but he needed that one more win, and he still does need one. If he beats Johnny Walker coming up, he will deserve a title shot over anyone. Alright, and if Jamal Hill isn't ready, then you do Ankalaev Pereira for the title. Also, as much as I hate it, it's reasonable and you gotta do it. But John Jones, mentioned, I won this, bro. I won that. But still, he mentioned, I don't know why I made it like that. Mentioned, I won this, I've been in UFC 15 years, blah, 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 blah. I understand John Jones. But there's, I don't care. I know Jamal Hill and Yuri Prochazka can't make those same things. But you can vacate your belt. If you're such a GOAT, John Jones, you would vacate your belt and come back to win it. I know he's done it at light heavyweight a bunch of times, but that was when he wasn't injured. He is injured now, and he's just taking up space. And we have Tom Aspinall, who might defend. In all honesty, I hate saying this, but in all honesty, we might see Aspinall gone. And Aspinall defend the interim title. I hate it. Alright? I hate it. And then we might see Stipe Jones, winner, loser, retire. And then Aspinall's just there. Interim. They might bust him up. Fuck. They might boost him up as a champ. And promote him as a champion. They might just do that. But still, it's annoying to me. I do agree with Aspinall. Vacate Jones. We move on, though. I need to move on from this, but you should vacate Jones. If you're such a GOAT, why not? You had a great win against Cyril Gahn. Easy win. No problems. Do it again if you're such a GOAT. We move on to other news. Della Maddalena versus Gilbert Burns is targeted for UFC 299 in Miami. O'Malley versus Vera 2. This is big. This is a big fight. Didn't see this one coming. I thought they were going to make JDM Jeff Neal, give him somewhat of a highly ranked guy. Not much. But no, they're legit giving him Gilbert Burns, the number 5 contender in the welterweight division, I think. Which is crazy. Does JDM deserve to jump up the rankings? Not that high. I don't think he deserves it that high. I'm going to check what rank Gilbert Burns is right now. Because I'm pretty sure he's number 5 in the division. Welterweight division, number 4. Number 4 versus number 11. Huge for JDM. But Gilbert Burns, He's always that savage who'll take on anyone. Who cares about the rankings? This is what I like about Gilbert Burns, because this is what gets you ahead. Not just picky choosy. I know it got Colby a title shot, but still. Well, I know Colby, accepted fights apparently, according to his interview, but it all got declined. I believe him, but still, you shouldn't get a title shot still. Like, I'm sure the UFC can find you someone to face. But number 11, Maddalena versus Burns, like, there isn't really anyone else for Burns to face, in my opinion. I mean, they can't really do much. Maybe he can wait for a winner of someone, like Rakhmonov or something, but Burns is taking this fight. I got JDM. I think he's too fucking slick on the feet, man. I think he is, and I know Burns can shoot takedowns, and Basil Hafez was able to get down JDM on short notice. And Burns got the jiu-jitsu, but Burns, I'm starting to really just not care about his ground game. Like, he has good ground game, good jiu-jitsu. If you're on the ground with him, you're in deep trouble. But I think he lacks getting fights to the ground offensively. He couldn't do it to Wonderboy, really. JDM is strong, big legs. I think he's going to beat Gilbert Burns on the feet. And with Burns, with that shoulder injury, with that big layoff he's going to have 10 months out, and JDM just went out there and smoked Holland. Like, I know he didn't finish him. Like, JDM ain't really getting these finishes anymore, but he went out there, pieced up Holland for a split decision win. Holland did not win that fight. I don't know how it was a split decision. JDM clearly won. I think that he's going to go out there and beat Burns, and I think he's going to get it by KO. I think Burns will get cracked here and put down. Got good body shots. Burns, JDM, he has a decent chin by what we've seen. So I don't think Burns is going to crack him out of nowhere and JDM secretly chinny. Like, could happen. I'm not going to just say it's not going to happen. It could. But JDM, as we know, or from what we've seen, good chin. I think he'll go out there. Took shots off Holland, Got good defense. I think JDM's going to go out there and beat Burns. In a first-round scrappy TKO, I'll say. Like, he puts out there, like, Burns is trying to trade with him, cracks JDM, but gets clipped and put down. I can see JDM getting it done. I really do believe that JDM can win. But Burns can win. Burns is Burns. But with that shoulder injury, like, he beat Neil Magny, Jorge Masvidal. These aren't good wins, really, Would have beaten Bilal, I think, but Bilal fluked it, so good for him. And still made that fight somewhat close. At best, came in 48-47. Bilal injured Burns. I don't know why Burns has done this, really, though. Like, I don't know why he took on JDM. I don't know. It's a risky matchup for him. I don't know why he's taking, he's number 4 in the rankings. Why not look for, a Rakhmonov? I know they train together, but Luke and Gary are fighting each other, so unless it's Luke Burns, who are very, very close, don't really see an issue. I really don't. Sean Brady just won. Why not do Sean Brady Burns? That's better. But I guess JDM's more deserving. We move on, though. That card's looking good as well. I mean, O'Malley Vera 2. That card is looking pretty good. It's got Shukagi and Barber. Munoz versus Phillips. I'll be on the main card there. We move on. Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. UFC 296. Of course, Giga Chikadze pulled out because of a groin injury after landing a kick on the pads with Merab Dvalishvili. And Giga hurt his groin. Let's just keep it how it is. And went down in pain, screaming. Well, not screaming, but type screaming, But he was in pain, pulled out of the fight, was cleared. But he can fight at the end of January, per his doctor. But Emmett ain't gonna stick around. Wait, what's the point? I mean, here is Bryce Mitchell who stepped in. The card's already good without Josh Emmett, but this is a great fight. Bryce Mitchell, Josh Emmett. More spotlight, because Giga, I don't know, Giga's cool. Does he bring the eyes to the prelims? Not really. He doesn't really bring the eyes to the prelims. Mitchell does. And with Mitchell and Emmett, headliner of the prelims. That card's fucking insane, man. What a fantastic card. But this will be a great fight. Mitchell, of course, beat Ige. I just don't think he wins. I don't think Mitchell wins. I think he's going to get smoked in the first round. You know what? I'm going to go decision for Emmett. I'm going to go decision. I think on paper you can see Emmett maybe smoking him. But when has Emmett really gotten a finish? Like, he couldn't finish Shane Burgos injured. I think he will win Emmett, though. And I think you got to predict him here. Because Mitchell wasn't preparing for this fight. He's American, so Thanksgiving was around then as well. Probably wasn't training. Beat Dan Ige. Did not look good in that fight. I think ever since Tapiria beat him, he just hasn't looked like Bryce Mitchell we know. The Ige fight wasn't really too impressive, but he did win it. But it wasn't Bryce Mitchell we know. Like the Barboza performance, that's the Bryce Mitchell I know. I know he had a close one against Feely, but he still won that and looked like Bryce Mitchell. Now he just looks like Bryce Mitchell who doesn't really care. I don't know. Respect for him stepping up here, but I think Emmett's going to beat him. I don't think Mitchell has much on the feet either to offer. I don't think he'll out-grapple Emmett. Emmett's strong as fuck. I know a lot of people are saying Diego Lopez should have stepped up. I think this is more reasonable, though. Lopez Emmett would have been good, though, and I do agree that probably would have been a better fight and a much closer fight as well, stylistically. But they're not going to rush Lopez to the top. Even if he wins, then you got to do him versus fucking, Max Holloway. Those type of fights. That's where the position you'd be in. And if he loses, all his hype's gone. And he just lost to Evloev in his debut, so that was one risk. And they already risked that. I know that's what made him into a big name, almost beating Evloev, but still, not gonna risk that. And Aljamain wanted to step up. Fuck, Aljo's probably one of his worst fights in the division. Emmett fucking obliterates him. I'll go Emmett here. We move on to other news, which is Mohamed Makayev versus Alex Perez. For the Saudi Arabia card in Riyadh, it's called. They're gonna go Saudi Arabia. That's where they're gonna go. Where Ngannou boxed Fury and almost beat him. And not play, Ngannou did beat Fury, let's be real. But still, that's where they boxed. This is where they're gonna have a UFC fight night. Alex Perez is back. This is actually an interesting matchup. I'm going to probably go Makayev, though. Just because it's Makayev, and he looked good against Elliott. That was his test. And he passed it. Probably losing the fight, but he came back and won. Which I have to respect Makayev for now. Do I think he'll beat the top guys? No. I still think he fucking loses to them. But still, you got to respect Mohamed Makayev. Perez could give him problems on the feet, though. He really can with the low kicks and shit. He really can give him a fucking a run for his money on the feet. But I think Perez will get out-muscled here and just take him down. Look at Pantoja. I know Pantoja's champ now. Good for him. But Pantoja easily ragdoll Perez. So I can see Makayev getting an easy win here. I like Perez, but I think Makayev will out-muscle him and be smart and win this fight. And we move on. Dan Ige's back versus Lerone Murphy. I'll go Lerone Murphy. He looked good against Kleebau. I think he'll beat Ige. And Shukagi and Barber, who cares? Barber wins. I like her momentum streak. She looked good against T-Boss. I think she'll win against Shukagi in another scrappy fight. 29-28 decision this time. And that's also in that 299 card. And then also another one. Molly McCann versus Deanna Belbita. Who cares? I'll go with... I'll go McCann. Belbita seems really shit in her fights. So I'll go McCann. I think she'll set up a good game plan. And Belbita does nothing, really. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. MMA news reactions. And